121 Talk.
It's Elondious. You have to be more careful.
You can say what you want to say.
Elondious. You have to be more careful.
And we are back.
We're back, baby.
I don't know what I'm gonna name this episode. I don't know what I'm gonna name it yet.
I don't know either. Maybe we should name it the Blue Light Special.
Oh, because we got a blue light on it
Yeah,
here?
the whole room is blue. It's throwing me all off.
I mean, yeah, we can name it that. Blue Light Special.
Blue Light Special.
But what episode is this? You doing it this time. What number?
17.
17. All right. So episode 17, the Blue Light Special.
The Blue Light Special.
Not just because of the lights, but are we talking about something that's blue?
Something that's blue?
Yeah. Not really.
Oh, you see me looking around the room? I'm just as lost.
Well, the subject matter, is it blue?
Yeah, sort of, kind of. Yeah,
It can sort of kind of be.
Yeah, it can be that.
Okay.
Oh,
I left my phone on.
you sure
My
did.
mistake.
I don't even know where my phone is.
That's all right. Let it be. Let it be where it's at. So how are you?
Song Let It Be?
You know what? I was almost about to say Paul McCartney. Is that Let It Be?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Whatever.
We showing our age.
Yeah, we showing our age straight up.
You said, how am I?
Yeah.
I'm okay. I've been battling this migraine
But just about every day.
every day for the past 5.5 weeks, 6 weeks.
6 weeks. You even put up a post saying yo, if anybody know anything,
Right.
help me out with this.
Yeah, I got some feedback and everything. So, but most of the things that they said I already do, the medications. The only thing that people said a couple of my battles was talking about was Botox.
Right.
I'm scared of Botox. My doctor talked to me about Botox about 3 or 4 years ago, but I'm scared of Botox.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm scared.
I'm sorry. My mic is going crazy.
I see.
It was falling as we were talking, so I'm going to...
I see. I saw your head getting lower and lower over there.
What
wait a
the
minute.
hell
Where's
is
this mic going?
So keep talking. Maybe we can disguise the sound.
So I'm scared of Botox, but my son...
Oh, my goodness.
My son was getting Botox at one time, and he said it helped him, but something about needles
that you don't
in
like.
my head
just weird.
Don't work for me.
So they give you a shot in the scalp?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think in the back of your head or something like that.
You close your eyes and...
But Botox, they use Botox for everything because, I have what they call hyperhidrosis.
What is that?
The excessive sweating of my hands and feet.
You got sweaty hands.
Very sweaty hands at times.
Okay.
And so my doctor had spoke to me about getting Botox shots in my hands to stop the sweating. So you get Botox as filler in your, your body, face and stuff like that.
All right.
You can get Botox to stop headaches. You can get Botox to stop sweating. What the hell is in Botox?
I don't know.
Hit that thing.
What thing?
The one.
Oh, the thought? You ready?
Yeah. But
What's
anyway,
in Botox?
I know, right? But
Sponsored by 8121 Talks.
But I am seriously thinking about talking to my doctor about that new medication.
Well, give it a try. See what happens. If not, I can always wake you up in the middle of the night and go, it ain't working.
Exactly.
Not funny? No, not
no.
really. Okay, so, let's talk about some current events.
Okay.
Today, football, NFL. Now, we got to get to that. But I thought maybe on this show, I should address professional sports and what I feel about it. Because I try to stay off...
social media?
Yeah, talking about it because, sometimes I see some fans of certain teams and they kind of bandwagon.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So, but I don't get into that to each his own. But me personally, I know who I like. You know what? Let's start at the beginning. You ready?
Yep.
So let me get this out the way.
It's Alan Elondious. Got to be more careful. Got to be more
careful. So there will be
no
no cursing. We'll get that out. One more.
Got to be more careful.
Right?
Is hell a curse word?
I could get into the whole what's a curse.
Right. Yeah.
What's a curse versus what's inappropriate.
Okay, is it a cuss word?
I can get it a cuss word. Now that's different. That's black folks. So
right.
Cuss words are any type of word that would be considered vulgar or inappropriate.
Because I said that earlier.
What'd you say?
What the hell is in Botox?
Oh, well, that's not a...
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Nah, as long as we ain't damning people. Those are the true curses.
Right, yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah, but so let's talk about it.
Okay, come on.
Question. You
Answer.
got a favorite college football team?
I do.
And what team is that?
You know who it is.
Well, let's let the people know.
Alabama.
University
Roll
of Alabama. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how long you been at? Because I know your mother was a University of Kentucky fan.
For basketball. My mom don't
football?
watch football.
Football? Okay, basketball. Hold on. That's good too.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Mom didn't watch basketball, but football, but she loved her some basketball.
Basketball. You know what? I'm going to leave basketball alone.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick to football.
Okay.
But, big up to Mama Stella.
Yeah.
She on every show with us.
Yeah.
I think her name comes up at least every other show.
Hers and Ann's. But how could it not?
You're right. That's who put us here.
Yeah,
right?
go ahead.
So, football, you're an Alabama fan. Now, did you become an Alabama fan when you moved to Alabama?
To be honest with you, I became an Alabama fan probably about maybe 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Because I was a University of Tennessee fan.
I'm sure you were.
Exactly.
You right there in Knoxville.
Yeah.
Right. Y'all got some HBCUs there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that makes sense.
Right.
So you moved in 83, but you didn't become a fan until 10 years ago, which is about 2000.
Right.
11,
because I really didn't watch college football like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, see, with me, that's all we had.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The two college teams in the state of Alabama, make your pick.
Auburn
and University of Alabama.
Yeah.
I have never been a fan of University of Alabama.
Right.
Reasons why, don't want to get into it. But my fandomship, is that a word, fandomship?
We gonna make it a word. It's a word today.
Let's make that a word.
There you go, fandomship.
Right. So my fandomship, whenever I think about Auburn, what I think about is Ebenezer Baptist Church, because we had a Cub Scout, Boy Scout troop there. So, Miss Scott, who was my Cub Scout leader. And when
he was also Chevette's aunt.
Right? And Boy Scouts was Henry Mentor. He was our Boy Scout leader, master, whatever you call that.
I do not know.
And James, big bro, James Ellis. Let me get him some applause. James Ellis and Henry. I don't even know if Henry Mentor's still alive. I don't know.
Right.
But I know he was a grown man back then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But so we used to, well, first it was a guy in the Boy Scouts, and his sister lives out here. Wow. Shirley D. Jarnett. She lives out here in Colorado Springs. Her brother was in the Boy Scouts. Now, he was older. He graduated in 80. I was in the Cub Scouts.
Right.
But I used to see him.
Right.
You know what I mean? And quiet dude, never talked that much. He went on to play for Auburn. That's what I'm getting to.
Okay.
I'm not going to drag that out. And that kind of made me pay attention to Auburn.
Yeah, because it was somebody you actually knew personally went to play for.
Well, yeah, we in the same. I didn't really talk to him like
but
that.
Yeah, but you knew him.
Yeah. And then when I got in the Boy Scouts, I don't know how they hooked it up or who was behind it, but we used to go to the Auburn games for free. So there I got to see, I saw Sam play. I saw Bo Jackson. I saw Joe Cribbs.
Bo knows.
Lionel James. But one of the most interesting games I saw was it was Auburn versus Georgia, and I actually got to stand there and watch Herschel Walker do his thing.
You was on the sidelines?
Yeah. And it's different. Remember, I don't know if I told you this. Watching it on TV is one thing, but then watching it at the game is crazy.
Right.
Because I'm looking, I'm saying, he had no big runs, maybe 5 yards, 10 yards. But then when we were on our way home, I heard on the radio, he had 200 plus yards.
Right. You're like, wait a minute, I didn't see all that.
Right. It made me respect the power.
Right.
And the play calling and what's going on. This ain't football at Block Park.
Right.
This ain't football out at Memorial Stadium, Selma High. Everybody on that field was nice in high school. So it's a faster game. It's a stronger game.
Right.
But anyway, that's why I like Auburn. It's like my introduction to elite football. So, and the memories that are attached to it, like us riding up there, us ride back, us picking up garbage after the game, and things of that nature. It was like, I identify with it. And then every memory that's attached around it, like wanting to go to the game and being, I didn't really talk that much when I was younger, as much as I'm talking like right now. But I wanted to ask, are we going to the game? But I wouldn't say anything.
Right.
But I was ready.
The anticipation.
It's the memories around.
Yeah.
Now, you said you like University of Alabama. Prior to that, maybe University of Tennessee. What about NFL?
Oh, you know who my team is.
Well, come on, give it to us.
America's team.
And who was that?
Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys.
Right. And it's crazy because I've been a Dallas Cowboys fan since I was like 8 years old.
Okay.
And not really understanding a lot about the game at that time.
Right.
But I was a tomboy. So hanging out with all the boys in the neighborhood and everything, and they're talking football. And there was, I don't know if I just liked Dallas Cowboys because I was opposing somebody else because they didn't like the Dallas Cowboys. And then I said, okay, well, that's who I like, Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
Because I can go against that other person.
But that's valid. That's where it starts at usually. You know what I mean?
And then when I got to middle school, well, it was junior high school first and it changed to middle school.
Right.
I had a classmate, his name was Joe Fishback.
I know that name.
Yep, because he played for the Dallas Cowboys.
All right.
And that's what he used to say when we was in school. He said, I'm going to play for the NFL.
All right, Joe.
And I'm going to play for the Cowboys.
All right,
and he
Joe.
did.
All right, Joe.
And I had a crush on Joe Fishback, so
All right, Joe.
So I think that might have cemented my Dallas Cowboys fandomship.
I got to mess with you at least one podcast.
Go ahead.
That might have did what?
Cemented.
How about cemented? It's all right. I'm here for you.
Let me pronounce my words the way I pronounce my words.
Okay, that's cool.
Oh my goodness! But you got me
cemented,
cemented.
Like if someone name was their nickname was C and you said cemented.
Cement.
Okay.
Cemented. There you go. Get me straight.
All right. Because you got it now.
Look, because I was listening to our podcast the other day.
All right.
And I was listening and I said, "Ooh, I swear I talk like I don't know good English."
Because you be going back analyzing podcasts and all this. You ain't got to do all that.
Listen, people. Listen, how many listeners we got? 7? No, I'm just playing.
Well, last one was 14. And probably 3 of those are us listening back.
Okay, well, maybe. Yeah. Well, to our listeners out there, I really know how to talk. I really do. But sometimes I just get so excited. And y'all family.
Yeah.
So I just let the words come out the way they come out.
You just talking to family?
Right.
In our new studio.
In our new blue studio?
Yeah.
Blue
we just talking to family, so just let it be.
Right. But yeah, Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys.
Your team?
That's a long trip.
I'm
gonna put this in a quick.
Okay.
What do you call it? Quick explanation? A short explanation.
There you go, short.
That's it. We work well together. You can stop me.
I know, right?
Okay, so when I was younger, it was the Dallas Cowboys for sure. Like there was nobody on my block, but there was nobody on my block that wasn't a Dallas Cowboy fan. It's just like in the NBA, if you were not a Philadelphia 76ers with Dr. J, you're just wrong.
Right.
So I was a Dallas Cowboy fan. And later on, I switched over to the Atlanta Falcons. Because I was always aware of having a team that's actually close to where you stay.
Right.
Yeah, Alabama, we didn't have a team, but Atlanta was the closest.
Right.
So Steve Bartkowski, was it Lynn Kane and Andrews? I forgot their names, but I think Atlanta went like 13-3 one season, and it was like, yeah, Atlanta Falcons fan. I stopped going for the Dallas Cowboys because I realized it was affecting my health. Let me give myself a round of applause for acknowledging that. I used to want them to win so bad that it's not fun watching a game tense.
You get tense, all upset.
And it's like, oh my God, because they never won when I wanted them to. I'm just going to touch this. I'm going to get off of it. Yeah. San Francisco, Dallas, touchdown, corner. Do I want to say his name? Clark.
That's about how I feel about that
Montana.
Des Bryant play. But go ahead.
Montana to Clark. It felt like someone drove a stake through my heart.
Right.
And then from there, once we graduated, I moved to New York City. And it doesn't matter. But I just started going for the Giants. The Giants, the Yankees, the Jets, and the Mets. I stuck with that because I'm, almost 30 years? So I'm there. And I'm like, okay. But there's one thing I can say.
What?
About the Giants, my pro football team. It felt good to actually sit there in their living room and watch them win a Super Bowl.
Right.
A lot of people can't say that.
Right.
That I know.
Yeah.
Now, one person I want to big up are Kenny Hurst. Kenny Hurst, give him a round of applause.
Okay, Kenny.
Kenny Hurst, from day one that I met him, up until today, as far as I know, Miami Dolphins.
Right, die hard, huh?
Always Miami Dolphins. And I watched him, I felt his pain through looking in his eyes when the Dolphins lost to the Redskins. What's his name? Riggins? Joe Riggins, I think his name was. When the Miami Dolphin cornerback slipped and fell and dude went around.
Right.
Oh, I thought Kenny was going to have to be put into a mental institution.
Oh, man.
And see, around those times is when I said, you know what? These guys get paid. They probably go out and drink after the game or hang out.
Talk to each other.
Yeah.
Right. And here we are.
About to fight somebody.
Mad.
Why am I having a heart attack?
Right.
Yeah. So, so Auburn, Giants, that's where I'm at right now.
Right. And then me with Alabama and Cowboys, we are house divided, but we still good.
We're house divided. And before we get off this football thing, what happened today?
Oh, I don't know what happened today. Oh, we was upset. It was awful. It hurt. It hurt to watch it. I couldn't believe it. 0 all the way up until the fourth quarter. We didn't have defense today. I mean, we had some good defensive plays though, because Michael Parsons was on it. Trayvon had some good plays and everything, but it wasn't the Dallas Cowboys of the past 7 weeks.
Before we started this, I saw an article that Drew Brees, they quote some stuff Drew Brees said. And he said it's the ups and downs of an inexperienced quarterback. He's referring to Dak. And I'm like, why do people say stuff like that? Like, can you not be off?
Right. Because everybody's off. Nobody's on all the time.
What's my phrase?
Any given Sunday.
You have to realize that these people out on the field, everyone on that field can play.
Yes.
You can talk crazy if you want.
Right.
But everyone on that field is nice. And when it's clicking, there's nothing you can do about it.
But sometimes it's not clicking.
Right. Sometimes
and
it
today,
don't click.
We were not clicking.
You know what?
Offense, defense, none.
Let me say this because I don't want to lose my train of thought because we'll stop this recording and I'll forget to say something. You said something about Marvel. What was it you said you saw?
I saw an article that said that Marvel needs to cancel the MCU.
Right. That I read it when I was outside.
Mm-hmm.
They talking about the bad reviews the Eternals got.
Oh.
So we haven't seen it yet. So
not yet.
We'll talk about it.
When we do see it. Yeah.
Before we get into the meat. How did you like Dark Matters?
Man, don't talk about that.
Okay. I'm just trying to get your juices flowing.
It was good, but don't talk about it.
Great show. 3 seasons. The crew of the Raza. Everybody wakes up with no memory of who they are.
Right.
And they take you on a 3-season ride where you get to know each and every person, some of their history, but they didn't finish it off.
They did not finish it off.
I like to give a big up to the Sci-Fi Channel.
Sci-Fi. We love it, don't we?
Sci-Fi Channel, but I'm being sarcastic. The Sci-Fi Channel in the sense that
got to be more careful.
You
got to be more careful.
Always start a show and it's half decent and you just cancel it.
Cancel it.
Why? Why? Like, what's the point? So, you know how when I watch a movie and I said, hey, I just wasted an hour and a half of my life that I'm never going to get back.
Right.
At some point, we can name other shows, but we're just going to stick with Dark Matters. Dark Matters could say, I just wasted about 39 episodes of my life. And each episode is an hour long.
13 episodes for 3 seasons. That's 36 episodes. 36 hours.
Okay. Let's do this again. How many episodes?
36.
36 episodes. And each of them is an hour.
Yes.
Right? So that's 36 episodes. So that would be 12 a season. It was 13 a season. So that's 39.
Dang, why you gotta call me out like that?
This is what we do. I got your back. Listen.
I'm all thrown off.
So listen,
I'm gonna blame it on this headache.
So if somebody's listening, let me say this out here for the Boosie. That's what I call a Boosie. Don't you mess with her. Don't you come for her. I'm right behind her, looking over her shoulder going, you know what? That's what she said at what?
39. Get me right, babe.
Hey, 13 times 3 is 36, player. What's good? That's it.
And who would have thought? Mu Alpha Theta right here.
What's Mu Alpha Theta?
You know that math thing.
That's math, though. Oh, yeah. 13. Yeah.
Anyway, let's go. Let's go. Let's move on.
Okay. All right. Let's get off that. So, I don't know how to start this.
I don't either. So, well, let's do it like this. So, you know, we watch a lot of Judge Mathis.
Well, I do, yeah.
Yeah, you do, and I dip in and out.
Right.
But a lot of Judge Mathis episodes deal with women and men. Women claiming that some man is their child's father.
Yeah.
And be very adamant about it. There's no way that he could not be the father. I'm sure, blah, blah, blah. And then it comes out, this man is not the father. And then either sometimes the woman breaks down and apologizes and whatever. And then sometimes the woman is very cocky, like, well, I thought it was the father. Or that test must be wrong. But at the end of the day, for a woman to set out and tell a man that he is the father of a child when they know in their mind that he is not the father of that child is just wrong.
Right.
Wrong. Wrong to that man. And more to me, wrong for that child. Just all the way wrong.
Right. So you're saying that when a woman says, this guy's the father, and he's not, it's detrimental to the child.
I believe so.
By them not having their biological father there?
By not having their biological father there, by believing that someone is their biological father, getting close to that person, getting close to their family members.
Right.
And then finding out, because more than likely, probably 9 times out of 10, that we didn't look up any statistics. But statistics. There, I cleaned it up.
Statistics.
That's what I said.
Okay.
Stats. We didn't look up any stats. But
Ladies
9
and
times
gentlemen,
out of 10.
you have just witnessed the greatest comeback in the history of podcasts. Quick on her feet.
9 times out of 10.
She said statistics. I can't even say it. Once I gave her a look, she cleaned it up and said, stats. Now get out my face.
Disclaimer. You know I took speech for 3 years.
Okay, it's all good.
I'm still working on it. But anyway, 9 times out of 10, that woman knew.
You saying that she knew who the father was?
She might not know. She might not have known who the father was because she could have been messing with more than 2 or more guys. Okay. And so it's possible not to know who the father was. But she knew that there was a possibility that that person wasn't the father, and to be standing there in someone's face and saying, I'm absolutely sure beyond a shadow of doubt that you're this baby's father, that's not right.
Okay.
You know? And then what happens when that child gets older?
They go on Judge Mathis?
They go on Judge Mathis.
Or Maury.
Or whoever. Yeah. But then they get involved. What if they get involved with one of their family members?
You are a stickler for that.
Oh, yeah, I don't like that. And I don't like that. When I was my previous marriage, I used to tell my ex-husband all the time, if you have any outside children, you need to let me know, because my children deserve to know who their siblings are.
Right.
Because that incest stuff, we ain't trying to have none of that.
Right, right.
None of that. I mean,
you are talking about the female.
Right.
And her awareness of you saying she's aware, you know what you were doing.
Right. I mean, because there's...
So if she had sex with multiple people, she might not be able to say you are the father.
Right.
But she can at least be, I'm not sure. It could be either one of you.
Exactly.
But don't exclude 2 people.
Right. And tell one person that, oh, you are the father. And you know, it could be a good reason. She could say that for a good reason. In her mind, she might think that this one man might be a better father to the child than the other man or the other men or what have you. But in the long run, I still think even if you doing the right thing or doing the wrong thing for a right reason or a good reason still ends up hurting people in the end.
Doing the right thing for the wrong reason.
Doing the wrong thing.
Causes hurt.
Yes.
Okay, got you. So, But if I can add my 2 cents in there, it's like, I think that the guy who you think would be a good father, if you think he's a good father, then he would totally understand your push to have the biological father know what's up. And if the biological father drops the ball, then that good guy can still step in as stepdad.
Right.
That's the way I see it.
Exactly.
I might be a little off.
No, I agree with that.
That's the way I see it.
I agree with that.
The thing is like for you, you don't really like that.
No, I don't like it because, like I said, we know. I mean, be honest, women. We got to be honest with ourselves. We know. We track our cycles. We know.
Right.
We know for ourselves. We might lie to other people, but we know for ourselves if we was messing with one man, faithful to that man that we were with, or if we had 2 or 3 on the side.
Okay.
We know that. We know if we was having protected sex with one and unprotected sex with 2 more,
right,
whatever the case may be. You know that if you're having unprotected sex with more than one person in a certain time period, that there's a possibility that any one of those men can be the father. So you got to put on your big girl drawers, your big girl panties. Got to be more careful. And as y'all say, man up, we gonna say woman up and come out and say, look, hey, you're not the only one. There's somebody else in the picture. We need to find out who this baby's father is.
I imagine that's tough when you've been dealing with, say, the bad boy versus the church boy versus the cool guy and whatever. And then you want the bad boy. Am I making sense right there? You want the bad boy. So I want him to be the dad. When the church boy might not be a bad bad boy, so to speak, and you're like, I slipped up that night. You know, I don't want him to be the dad, but he could be.
Right.
Right. You see, from a man's perspective, like I can't speak on that one.
Right.
What you're talking about, but if I may, I one of the things that bothers me is when guys have kids and refuse to deal with them.
Right.
That one I don't understand. Now, most guys will use the ability to provide or as an excuse. I'm gonna be honest with you on our show right here. I ain't never really had nothing. You know, I don't have $1 million. I don't have any of that. I can offer my time, some attention, and I'm always there. You can call me at 2:00 in the morning. Hey, I don't really know, but I'm here to talk to you. I you know, I've always thought that was huge. To end that part right there, I say, I don't understand when guys have kids and then they just
drop out.
They're just not there. I mean, maybe because I grew up in a house with a mother, just me and her, basically, before my great-grandmother passed away. I saw her. I know what it was.
You saw the struggle.
I seen that. I seen the good times and the bad times.
Right.
But sometimes I like to feel I would be a little bit stronger if I could have spoken to my dad. Like, yo, this is what's going on. This is how you play the game. Not just athletics.
Right.
This is how you play the game.
Of life.
Right. Or someone to look you in your eyes and say, listen, you need to go to school. I'm going to help you enforce this plan. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think that's for every child, not just a male child. I think the male child would need it more.
For sure.
But a female child too, because your father is your first example of what a real man does, how he should treat a woman.
Most importantly, I'm sorry to cut you off. Most importantly, I'm not speaking about this from, you know, just a guy needs this. I'm speaking from a guy who has created a child and doesn't do what he needs to do. No matter at what level you can do it at, do something.
Do something.
Right? Don't just bail out.
Right. And not just men do that. There are some women out there that bail out on their children, you know? Mostly
men, though.
Mostly men, but there are some women. I had a battle buddy at Fort Gordon who was a single dad. And back then, this was in the mid-90s, you really didn't see too many single dads. But I tell you, he was a great single dad. He had a daughter.
What's his name?
I can't remember.
Let's give him a round of applause.
Right.
Single dads in the house.
Yeah. But, and as you say, speaking from someone who's created a life, I cannot imagine not being in my children's life. I couldn't imagine. I just can't see it.
I like to think because I grew up with my mother, and I'm sure a lot of guys have this experience, and it probably doesn't turn out for them the same way it turns out for me, meaning develop a thought process. I can't see not knowing the child. See, you have to make a decision, right? So let's say if I'm with someone and we're not getting along and it's time to part. In certain situations, you have to be honest with yourself and say, am I in a situation to handle? It's hard for me to talk without being personal. So I have to use me for an example. When I left Buffalo, I was married to Rashida. Let me give her a round of applause just in case you're listening.
Okay, Rashida.
And I had to decide. You know, at the time, I thought Rashida was she's a better hustler, man. You know, she could take care of things and all that. I'm still dreaming, you know. So even though I had made Al and Rashal like best friends, like for me, like this is what I do, I had to be realistic about it. And I had to not, uproot, pull them out of their environment. So I left, right? But as soon as I got a chance, come here.
As soon as you got settled. down somewhere.
Yeah, they come here. I mean, that's being realistic about it. It didn't go the way I wanted it all the time. It bothered me, but at least try to do something. Right? I could have disappeared. I could have.
Right.
You know, I'm 8 hours away. They're in Buffalo. I'm in New York City. 8 hours away, but I wouldn't be able to sleep at night.
Right.
Because I know what I felt.
Right.
In my personal situation.
Exactly.
Like, what? Like,
exactly.
I can't do that.
Right.
So even with Darrell and his mother, Darlene. You get Darlene round cross.
All right, Darlene.
A lot of people used to be like, "Oh man, it seems like y'all at odds all the time, and she's always mad at you." I'm not saying I was an angel. Like, I'm out here doing whatever in the streets and everything, but it was one thing I refused to do.
Right.
What do you think that was?
Leave.
I refused to do it. Because especially at that point, I'm older and I'm thinking like, this boy need me? And plus there were some days where I'm thinking, does he need me? Because I'm being torn down about certain things. But I decided to stick it out because I put him on this planet. I can't, it's not Monopoly. It's not, what's the game you just bought? Connect 4. It's not that. I just can't go, I want to play no more, walk away.
Right.
It don't work like that.
Right.
So through all of that, did I always have the answers? Nope. Did I always have the money?
No.
Nope. Did I always like physically within a moment know what to do? You said something instrumental a minute ago when you said you get to see how a man acts, how he handles stuff. That's what I was trying to do. Somebody always has, like, your child always watching you.
Always watching you.
Job situation don't go right. Keep your head up. Let's go somewhere else and eat. You feel me? Or out in the street, people are acting ignorant. Your son is with you and you know how to finagle your way through it. You know, and then you could be tough on them, like I always say, to get them ready
for the outside.
When someone's tough on you outside, but they mean it. They want to hurt you.
They don't care
I'm
about you.
I'm tough on you because I care.
Right.
And I want you to be used to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I think I'm going too far. But I think it's a man's job to provide that. If you can provide monetarily speaking, if you can provide that, great.
Right.
But if you can't, you cannot let your ego, or like we were discussing the other day, I've noticed that some guys are good as long as they're the center of attention. When they leave and they're not the center of attention, they don't even reach back for the kids.
They don't.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. Because my thing is, it's not always about money. If you can provide financially, that's all well and good.
That's a plus.
Because you should.
Right.
If you can, you should.
Right.
But if you can't, then provide other ways. Hey, call them on the phone every night. Or at least once a week, ask them, how was school this week? What your grades look like? What you need help with? You know, well, how you doing? You know, your friends, you okay with your friends? You know,
what are your dreams?
Yeah, talk to them.
Yeah.
Just talk to them. And if you can do that, that's good. Or because just the attention, the love from your parent, knowing that person who brought you into this world loves you and is concerned about your well-being and wants to see you succeed. That's worth way more than money.
You always have a fan, and you always have a solid answer, and you always feel loved or cared for. Right.
And then if you can come by and pick them up, and you might not have money to go anywhere elaborate, but take them to the park. Or go to a museum and ask them, hey, what you think about this? I mean, there's so many things that you can do that has nothing to do with money, but that child would be so appreciative of that.
You would be so shocked in the way in which I could be talking to Darrell, right? And I'll use Darrell for, Al, all of them. Al, Rashal, even Zarius. Well, I'll use Zarius for an example. I got 4 boys, by the way, just in case y'all try to do the math. 4 boys. Darrell, I should start at the oldest.
Start at the oldest.
Al, Rashal, Darrell, then Zarius.
Right.
Okay. I was talking to Zaris when he was here with us. And he came out of nowhere and he mentioned a walk that we had did one night about 1 o'clock in the morning, and we talked about absolutely nothing. But he remembered that when I didn't.
Right.
And I'm highlighting that to say that's what happens. You don't know when they listening and what they paying attention to.
Exactly.
So you try to get as much of that as you can. And yo, what's up? You know?
Right. Because parenthood is not easy.
Oh, yeah.
It's not easy. There's no book, even though people have written plenty of books about how to do this and how to be a good parent and how to be an effective parent and all that stuff like that. But they don't know.
And most time, you know, there's the theoretical side and there's the practice.
Right.
I'm going to use the word practical. It's theoretical and it's practical.
Right.
Theoretical, everybody can theorize. If I was you, I would do this. I wouldn't be, especially with men, because I'm going to stick on the men's side. Ain't nothing like your boy coming to you saying, yo, man, I wouldn't even stay there if I was you. I'll be gone. I ain't got no time for that. But then I'm saying to myself,
got to be more careful. Exactly.
You don't even know your kid.
Exactly. So
are you
please
serious
don't
right
come
now?
and speak to me about it.
Hey, I've seen guys that will take a job and go to that job and ask the person that owns a business, a private business, to pay them
under the table
and a little bit on the table so they don't have to pay
child support
as much
child, and that's pitiful.
What? But you're the same person that's in the club. You traveling. You got on the newest sneakers. Man.
Oh, so you said the newest sneakers and stuff like that. So let's segue into that. I cannot stand to see parents, a man or a woman or both, with their child, and they look like $1 million, and that child look like they just brought them in off the playground, dirty, nasty, clothes.
Crazy.
Yeah. Why would you do that?
I don't know, but my example for that too is because, you know, my personal example for that, I thought my mom's was the freshest person on the planet when I was in kindergarten, first grade.
Right.
When I mean, she had a haircut, the line, the fro, slim. She had back in the day, they wear the scarf around the neck.
Yeah, I seen a picture with her like that.
She used to be down at, what is that, Torch Motel? She used to be down there doing her thing.
Your mom was looking good.
But when my great-grandmother died, I saw the sacrifice. Now she getting sneakers out of the bin at Winn-Dixie so I can wear Converse.
Right.
That's all I'm going to say on that. Big up.
Right.
Big up.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mama Ann. But yeah, so that's another thing. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if some people are just too selfish and they're not ready to put themselves on the back burner and put their child on the front burner. I don't know what it is. But you know me, them children of mine, them chillins.
Right.
They shoot.
You do what you have to do.
I work for them sometimes, I feel so, but it's all good.
Right.
It's all good.
Your situation is unique. You first started off talking about women that play that game as far as your father.
Yeah.
But your situation is unique as far as the father go. You had a dad.
I did. And when I was saying that stuff is, things like that is detrimental to the child not knowing who the biological father is, thinking that one man is and it's not. So up until the time I'm going to say 15, because it had to be 15 and 16 because it was after I moved to Selma.
Okay.
I thought that the man that I knew as my daddy.
That was in the house with you.
Right. I thought that was my biological father.
Right.
Then I find out that he's not.
Wow.
And the way I found out was crazy, but we're not going to go into all that.
No, you don't have to do that.
But I found out that he wasn't. And then I'm like, what the world? And so then it makes you feel, it made me feel like, so where is my biological father?
Right.
And why is he not a part of my life? And
the questions, I used to call these the apocalypse.
Yeah.
The who, what, why, and when.
Right. And then when I asked my mom, she told me one thing. She told me two things.
Right.
She said, your father's name is this, He was black as tar. And when I told him that I was pregnant, he left the very same day.
1968.
So now I'm like, well,
or
dang.
67.
Right.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, so he didn't want to be a dad to me?
Right.
But I'm not even here. I wasn't even
Right.
there. But those are things that
later
run
down the
in
line,
your
at
head.
15.
Right. And
Right.
here I am, 53, and I still do not know who my biological father is.
Which is why you have roots in let me know if you have any outside kids.
Right. Because it's hard. It's hard. You feel like something's missing. Like when you go to your doctors and you have to fill out that family medical history.
Yeah, you don't know.
I don't know. And then they ask me, because they see it's blank, and then they ask me, well, what about your father's side of the family?
Don't know.
Then I say, I don't know. I don't know who my father is.
Right.
You don't know where he is? No, I don't know who he is. And then you get that look like, oh, wow.
Yeah. Especially if they white.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Because then stereotyping, but we ain't even gonna go into all that. That's a show for another time.
Right.
But it's just hard not knowing who your father is, or thinking that someone is your father. And even though that person who was in your life that you thought was your father might have been the best father that there was, there's still going to be a little part of you that says,
Wonder what my dad is like.
Oh, I wonder if things would have been different if I knew who my dad was.
Right.
I guess it's just tough all the way around.
It's tough. I'm glad you said all the way around, because see, here it is. You're basically saying you don't know.
And now I probably will never know, because my mother's gone.
Right. So you probably never know who your father was, right? On the flip side, I know.
Right.
But there is it's a different feel. You live on one side of town, they live on the other.
Mm-hmm.
But not that much interaction.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different feel. I mean, and because I know who it is, when I can go, you got to be respectful, but you're still curious. So I ask certain questions. And I have to be honest, if these questions were actually graded, not on a scale, but I would say he probably made about a 50 on it.
Right.
But because I'm trying to fill that void, I would take questions. It's hard to explain. I would take answers and elaborate on them personally myself, without the elaboration on that end. And I would try to listen. Let me explain something to you. I've been doing this music thing for a while, and nothing's really come of it. DJing, making beats, all that, but it's what I enjoy to do.
Right.
So if my father came to me and said, all I was thinking about with music, I didn't want to be a dad, right? I'm not saying he said that. I'm just saying if that he was to come to me and say that, I would say, I don't like it, but I get it. I'm your son. I know how things operate. Everything at one point started to feel like an excuse. Or it's always somebody else's fault that something didn't happen. That's far as I'm going to go with that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is two different situations. You didn't know, I did know, but at the end of the day, it still translates to a hurt.
And a void.
It still translates to that. So all I'm saying on my end, if you decide to have a child, try to be in his life as much as the universe permits you to. Do the best you can, because nobody's perfect. Don't be worried about money and all that. Just be someone
in that child's life.
This child always has a supporter.
Yes.
It means a lot.
A whole lot.
You can make any kind of excuse up in your head, but it means a lot. Even the little simple things like that is a dope Mickey Mouse you just drew. You don't know how far that will go. Right? That's all I'm trying to say. And on your end,
for these women out there, don't lie about who the father of your child is, because you end up hurting the man and the child.
Right.
Because there's some good men out there who have went the other way because someone lied to them, and now they don't trust no one.
And that thing hurt when somebody lied to you.
About something, your child, you know? Yeah.
You find out it's not yours. But
right.
So that's your point.
That's my point.
This is podcast 17, and that was my point.
Okay.
All right. We're going to cut this one short. We're going to get out of here. We're coming up on 49 minutes or so.
All right now.
I think we did the thing.
We did that.
I'm going to let you lick your wounds with the Dallas Cowboys.
Whew.
If you notice.
It's okay. It's okay, though.
I didn't say, well, the Giants won today. I didn't say that.
Y'all won?
You know we won.
No, I didn't realize that y'all pulled it out.
Pulled it out. Yes.
Who did y'all play?
Vegas.
You played Vegas.
Yeah.
And y'all won.
We won.
Any given Sunday, right?
Any given Sunday.
There we go.
And our argument that we share, which is we don't like it when people say NFC least.
Right.
NFC, they the worst division. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Because even though Philadelphia lost to the Chargers tonight, didn't they? Yeah, they lost. Even though they lost, it wasn't easy.
It wasn't
and
easy.
If you remember, in the beginning of the season, the Chargers were they had the golden child quarterback.
Oh, yes.
Until Dallas came through and disrespected them.
Right, but
let's get a round of applause for Dallas.
Yeah.
Dallas came through and disrespected them. You know what I mean? I don't know if the Giants played them.
I don't remember.
I don't know. But it's not easy when you play the NFC East.
No, it's not.
It is not easy. You can say what you want to about the Redskins, the Eagles.
The Washington football team.
I'm sorry. I am so sorry. The Washington football team. You can say what you want to about the football team. You can say what you want to about the Eagles. You can say what you want about the Cowboys. And you can say what you want about the Giants. But when you play them, it's not going to be easy.
Not going to be easy.
It's not going to be easy. So, you ready to get out of here?
We out.
Episode 17.
Episode 17 in the books.
121 talk.
We done.
All right now. It's Elondious. You got to be more careful.
You can say what you want to say.
Elondious. You got to be more careful.